I think I would like to request everyone to please settle down first. I think we all will get plenty of time to talk about it and take a lot of photographs. आज हम बात करने वाले हैं, we are just going to talk about ideas. I think idea is something जो कि age bracket में नहीं आता है, and this is the only idea. That's why our entire team of the horses table come up with this thing. कि why we are not promoting the ideas only. And if somebody comes with a fresh mind, with a fresh idea, without any age barrier, without any experience barrier, so can we all support them? Will be able to believe them? So this is why this entire evening we all are here, and I would like to say congratulations to 4 of our pillars, जो कि हमारे लिए बहुत स्पेशल है, स्पेशली हमारे जो है हॉर्सेस टेबल की जो एक आइडिया को स्पेशली जो फ्रेश माइंड यंग माइंड्स को सपोर्ट करने के लिए आगे आ चुके हैं और उसको हमने नाम भी दे दिया है और उसका नाम है हमारा हॉर्सेस टेबल जूनियर. So congratulations first of all, 4 of you.
Good evening everyone. Before I begin, I would like to firstly prominently thank all the horses here, starting from 𝗵𝗲, 𝗂𝗽𝗱, 𝗵𝗲, 𝗵𝗵𝗶 and 𝗪𝗏 who are here, and the ones who could not really make it to the show tonight, 𝗙𝗄𝗃, Amitabh and 𝗵𝗲. Without them, the journey, I could not even imagine of starting this journey. So they have been one of the ones who has supported and believed in me, and henceforth supporting the other new ideas which are coming through horses table platform. So thank you once again for being a part of this entire journey. Horses table, we have done successfully 3 seasons. 4th season is round the corner. It has been massive. It has been great. There has been many ups and downs, but a great journey. We as a family, we enjoy, we don't take that as work. For the horses, it's like they listen to pitches, ideas with fresh minds every day, but there's an enjoyment culture. Without Sunil sir support, this journey of horses table, I still can see where the season 2 was and where we are. There has been a massive uplift on the brand. There has been a massive uplift on the entire quality production level of where the journey has gone. Thank you, Sunil sir, for that. And the most important pillar of the entire journey of horses table brand, that has been NITI AAYOG and AAYOG. Under the vision of our PM Modi, that is 𝗵𝗲 Bharat and Startup India, we actually wanted to bring out this platform with it. That is to bring out young innovators and innovation. And that is what NITI AAYOG has always been supported as well. And thank you for that. I would like to request Dr. 𝗵𝗄𝗃 to please address the gathering.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is a great evening. Let me start this evening just with a dialogue of 3 idiots. You guys remember that scene when it starts, when there's this little baby boy born, and there's the father who was looking over and saying that, "Ye mera beta, engineer," right? And most people watching it just wonder that, oh, this little thing is just born. Many parents for years together in our nation have harbored this idea for their children that they should choose a path like an engineer or a doctor, not because they want to control the destiny of their child, but because they have perceived that as the path of least risk, and that's what they want for their child, right? There are very few parts of this country where you can go and a young person will look into your eyes and say that कुछ भी करूँगा, लेकिन किसी और के लिए काम नहीं करूँगा, right? One such part is Gujarat, where I come from. For example, I know a lot of people young people who said some years ago also said that. But today, things are changing, right? Because of the movements like Art Tinkering Labs, which our innovation mission is running, for example, of which there are 10,000 or so, there is a systematic way for young people to express ideas, turn them into innovations, turn them into startups, and so on. We know people as young as 10 years who have their first startup, and as young as 15 to 16 years who are on their second or third startups. I'm always amused when I see these kids talk to adults, right, in our functions. And when they're talking about their startups, I can see on the face of this adult, on this adult's face, yeah, right? So there are all these people. I mean, one such team is in this audience, 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗶, I'll tell you about it in a moment. But what ATL is doing is it's creating this sequence of opportunities, right? Through ATL marathons, Tinkerpreneur, Space Challenge, Code Challenge, Student Innovators Program, Student Entrepreneurship Program, where kids can move forward with their idea. And in the case of 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗶, for example, they have not only, I mean, think about the story, right? These are 5 kids from 4 different ATLs from across the country who meet at a competition like this, come together, create a company which does water quality monitoring, go on to win the IBM's global prize for it, and is now incubated at our Incubation Center, AIC, Goa Institute of Management, GIM. Rajesh is here despite his severe backache. Thank you, Rajesh, who leads AIC GIM. But there are some very interesting things happening in our ecosystem. School kids are moving on to more mature entities like AICs and get supported, and they're coming together and solving some interesting problems, right? So this is what we are here to celebrate. I want to say that AIC GIM also is special today because 𝗺cie𝗿𝗶 also found its wings at AIC GIM. So this is a coming together of wonderful coincidences or systematic coincidences, whatever you want to call them. We are here to celebrate 𝗺cie𝗿𝗶 Jr. This is the first of its kind platform in our country, which is going to support not just ATL students, but all students of our country who are entrepreneurs, right? So this is a big moment. I must turn personal just a little bit at this moment because this idea of 𝗺cie𝗿𝗶 Jr. also came from a kid, a 12-year-old kid, who happens to be my daughter. Her name is Sunil. She lives in the United States because she couldn't move to India last year when there was the second wave of pandemic and so on. I was in the US in last October, and I was telling her about all these great startups and ATLs and all of that. And she watches a lot of entrepreneurship shows, right? And gets me to watch them as well. She was saying, Daddy, with all this stuff, why can't you do something like kidpreneurs, right? These are kids who are entrepreneurs. I said, hey, good idea, yeah. Why don't you map this idea? So she goes off and maps it. Now, I come back, I tell our AIM team that this is the idea I heard. And they said, hey, good idea, let's tell Prashant and see if he wants to work with it. So Prashant and team start thinking about it, and here we are, right? So an idea can come from anybody and anywhere. So that's the moment we're at. Well, I want to say that I want to first say congratulations and wish you and team, wish Sunil and team and all the horses who have made this possible a great success. I think this is going to be grand. It's going to be a household name, and many, many kids who are taking our nation forward are going to dazzle us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. I would like to request Sunil sir to please address the audience.
A very, very good evening, and Shri Amitabh Kanji, Dr. Chintan. I think as a mentor, as an ambassador to 𝗺cie𝗿𝗶, all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your support, because without that, it wouldn't have been possible. Without NITI, AAYOG, adult incubation mission, the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, I think 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶 would never take off. And in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons that we've done, especially the last season, I think there's been an 80% success ratio, which is huge by itself. Now that talks about the kind of talent that we have and the faith that the horses, the investors, our friends have in the brands that are being presented. So big thank you. 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶 Jr., I think where we would come from is probably that finishing school or the bridge between the corporates, the investors, and of course the little geniuses that we are hoping to produce. The dream of the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, is to make India probably a country with the maximum number of unicorns. So I think a wee little bit of contribution from also our side would mean a lot. You know, a lot of the media kept asking me, which is typical, because controversy is also what we thrive on. कि यार लेकिन शार्क टैंक तो है ही है ना, शार्क टैंक, 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶, ऐसे 50 टैंक की जरूरत है ताकि हमारे बच्चों को वो प्लेटफॉर्म मिले. So I don't consider any one of them as competition for us. I consider it competition for the rest of the world, because according to me the brains lie in India, and that's what we've been seeing for a long time now. So congratulations, Prashant, for bringing us on, the team 𝗙PC and all of us, onto this journey, this vision of yours, and we are partnering today, and hopefully we'll be very successful with 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶 Jr. To all the corporates, all my friends from the media who are here, to support us, because thereby we'll be supporting Little India. Now I say that because I didn't have this opportunity as a startup, because there was nothing called a startup. But I started young. I helped my father when I was 13 or 14. I used to love going to the restaurants. That's where I realized what dal and rice was what idli was, what vada was, why my father became who he was, an entrepreneur on his own. But from there I learned what hard work was. I learned how difficult it was to make a living, and what it took to make a living. I learned what self-respect was all about. I learned what 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵 was all about. You know, and today that's why 24 hours of work and I never tire. I always say thank God for what you've given me. So this is one way of telling the juniors that they matter to us. Their ideas matter to us. You know, a 4-year-old thinks like a 14-year-old of yesterday. So let's support them, and once again, sir, thank you, both of you, for being the absolute pillars for 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶. Anish, for constantly thinking of doing something new all the time. So thank you so much, and for all the friends who are supporting. You know, I'd like to take everybody's name, but it's not physically possible. So thank you.
This application for 𝗺cie𝗵𝗹𝗶 Jr. officially opens on our website. Request everyone who has got ideas from the age group of 10 to 17 can go on to the website and apply. So we look forward to your support, and I would now like to request Amitabh sir to give it 2 cents to all of us.
Prashant, Mr. Shetty, Chintan Vaishnav, all the horses here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when the Prime Minister launched the Startup India movement in 2016, there were just 700 startups in India. Do you know how many of them are there now in India? 71,000 startups. That's been the growth of progress. We didn't have a single unicorn then. Today we have over 100 unicorns. And at the peak of the COVID, we had about 44 unicorns, and this year we already have about 20 odd unicorns. So what we've seen is that India has created an ecosystem of young innovators. We are disrupting every single area of growth. whether it's electric mobility, whether it's learning outcomes in EdTech, whether it's agriculture productivities for agri-tech, many areas we are disrupting. And we're doing this because we've now launched about over 10,000 tinkering labs in schools where young children from class 6 onwards go through drones, they go through robots, they go through 3D printers, artificial intelligence, all at a very young age. And our objective is that we should create a total tinkering lab in every school of India, so that these young children disrupt every single sector, so we are able to innovate and find a solution to the problems of India. There are many challenges of India. And once we find a solution, and our challenges are not like Silicon Valley that we need a driverless car. We don't need driverless cars. But we need challenges to drinking water, how to improve learning outcomes, how to improve nutrition. And once we find a solution to the challenges of India, we are not finding a solution for the 1.3 billion people of India, but for the next 5 billion people of the world who are moving from poverty to middle class the world over. So your market is not 1.3 billion, it's 5 billion people of the world. And that is why what India is doing is to create an ecosystem of massive dynamism, energy, vitality, and a huge amount of energy which is rarely seen anywhere else in the world. We've been able to create an ecosystem which is all across urban cities, but also tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, and actually 555 cities of India have a startup. Every single city of India will soon have a startup. That is what we are doing. And this is all happening because of horses who are sitting here. Because they are the ones who are really supporting. They are the ones who are really assisting innovation. They are the ones who are driving growth. They are the ones who are giving fuel to great ideas and germination of great, really good entrepreneurship. Our objective is that from status quo, we must disrupt if India is to grow at high rates, and that's what the Prime Minister's vision is, that India must grow at high rates, 10% per annum, year after year, year after year, year after year. That can only happen if we do technological leapfrogging. And that technological leapfrogging is happening because bosses are supporting great ideas. And so my compliments and congratulations to the horses first. Secondly, after this 𝗙𝗵𝗶 𝗍𝗪, and this junior bit is great, it's a wonderful idea. I think these juniors, because you are germinating great ideas at a very young age, 10 to 17. If there was a 𝗙𝗵𝗶 𝗍𝗪 when I was young, I wouldn't have joined the IAS. I would have actually participated in this competition. So that's what we should do. India needs a lot of job creators, and that's what all these young children who will participate in this will do. So my compliments to Prashant, my compliments to Sunil Shetty, who's in the vanguard of all unique things, all dynamic things, but I can assure you that many of these youngsters who will participate in this will disrupt your world of Bollywood definitely, and also your world of restaurants. So you are in for trouble in days to come. And so congratulations, all the best and all success to 𝗙𝗵𝗶 𝗍𝗪.